Welcome back, everyone, for another live edition of the Transatlantic Takedown, where I'm Derek, as usual, based in Ireland, and I'm joined by Megan in New York City. Megan, how are you doing?
Yes, I'm doing well. It's cold here. Um, and also my birthday is a week from tomorrow. So I will be
Wow,
38 next Thursday.
wow, amazing
Uh,
stuff.
yeah, so I'm kind of excited about that. I'm reaching a plateau in life, but overall I'm doing good. How are you?
Yeah,
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm in the presence of greatness. Somebody that's interviewing Hall of Famers.
Uh, yes. That was an achievement for me. Proud of that moment. Um, Definitely one of those moments where I just took a chance, just took a leap, and it got me somewhere. So for any of those who's watching and they feel like they're a little nervous or scared to take a jump or a chance on themselves, just do it. The worst you could get is a no, but as they said, every no is a closer to a yes. So just do it. Just do it. Like
Haven't
Nike.
haven't watched
Just
the
do it.
the interview. I have to say, yeah. Well, RVD comes across like as a gentleman. He seems to be a great guy, and he is a bit of a legend. So fair play. Well done on that one.
Thank
Um,
you.
yeah. So I suppose, look, as we know, things continue to heat up on the road to WrestleMania, the biggest show in town, the showcase of the Immortals, the granddaddy of them all. Um,
Yes.
and the Elimination Chamber now, of course, is only just over a week away, um, coming at us live from Toronto. And we're pretty much there in terms of the confirmed lineups, I believe. So, especially for the men's, we've John Cena, Logan Paul, Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, CM Punk, and we had the winner then of Seth Rollins against Finn Balor the other night. What do you make of
Yes.
that?
Um, well, I know you was rooting for Finn, but I
As
kind
all,
of knew Seth was going to be in the match. I just, it wouldn't have been complete if
yeah,
Seth wasn't in the match. As a former, uh, as one of the recent former champions. But it was a really good match. At some point, it really looked like Finn could have won. So it was a very touch and go match. Um, Finn definitely gave Seth a run for his money. So it wasn't, just a squash match. Like Finn really fought tooth and nail. And he just didn't cut the cake. But
yeah,
it was a good match. It was a really good match. I really enjoyed it.
yeah. I just have the greatest respect for Finn Balor for all he's done here in Ireland for the industry. And a lot of people, been talking about maybe if he went back his demon roots, that kind of thing. But yeah, look, it was a good match. I don't think anyone was too surprised with the outcome of it, but it sets things up nicely anyway. And if we look at the women's, we've got Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, Naomi Bailey, Alexa Bliss, and now Roxanne.
Roxanne Perez.
Yeah,
Yeah. That was a surprise.
it was a surprise.
That was an actual really good surprise. Excuse me. I didn't think Roxanne was going to win. I definitely had Raquel in the match for sure. But Roxanne proved to be the better woman, and there's a possibility that we could have two former NXT women champions main eventing at WrestleMania. There's a
Yeah,
chance that Roxanne could
definitely.
possibly get that win at Elimination Chambers and she could go up against Rhea.
Mhm.
It could happen.
Yeah, no, for sure. Roxanne, of course, she had a little bit of help from your friends, Naomi Bianca.
Ah, yes. Well, um,
You
yeah.
and Bianca
They,
have this tight kind of a relationship.
oh gosh, did you see that? Yeah. So, well, I didn't say anything different than anybody else. I said, Bianca looked a little guilty this past SmackDown when they showed the footage. Bianca saw it. So, I guess she was a little teed off by it, but being a woman of my word, I said, look, if Bianca is proven innocent, I will present a public apology, and she she acknowledged that, so she said deal, and so
Yeah,
we'll
she's pretty
see.
good. She's pretty good with the interactions on Twitter, I have to say. She seems to respond quite a bit, and that, and she has done with you in the past also. She's responded to other things that you've put out there. So yeah, she's good fun in that regard. Um, Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens is announced for Elimination Chamber.
Mhm.
Would this or worthy WrestleMania? It's unsanctioned one, but do you think it would be more WrestleMania worthy than the likes of Elimination Chamber, or is it setting it up, for maybe another run at it at WrestleMania?
I think so. I know
Yeah.
they wanted, with them both being from Canada and Elimination Chambers being in Toronto, I know that they wanted to give the fans out there, hometown heroes, um, a match. And
Mm,
so that's where we're getting Sammy and Kevin. I don't think
yeah.
it's going to end there. I think there's a an opportunity for it to spill over at WrestleMania. But uh the same way it this whole feud between Cody and Kevin has spilled out for months, they could do the same for Sammy and Kevin, and I think that's what they're going to do. So I could definitely see them two definitely facing each other at WrestleMania.
Yeah, if there's a lot of money to be made from it, they'll follow that on for quite some time for sure.
Yeah.
Um, and what I enjoyed from Monday was seeing Nick Mysterio getting speared by
Hmm.
Braun Breaker. That was always good to see. AJ picked up the win against him, and I presume he'll work a story with Braun Breaker now at this stage.
Him or AJ?
AJ and Braun Breaker, I think.
Yeah. It seemed like they kind of teased that, which is interesting because you also teased Braun and Penta. So I guess we're
Yeah,
getting Braun and AJ first, because now Penta is kind of doing this feud with um
Pete Dunne.
Butch. Butch. I still call him Butch, but yes, Pete Dunne. Um, and that's been good, and Ludwig. Ludwig is kind of
He's
being
still there in
thrown
the
back
mix.
into the mix. Yeah, so it looks like it's going to be a triple threat between them two. Um, I was half asleep when I had heard the story earlier this morning, but I did see something about Ludwig kind of teasing a possible baby face. And
Yeah,
I guess a separation with him and Gunther. So he'll definitely be doing his own separate thing. Uh,
yeah. No,
yeah.
it looks good.
What do
All
you,
right.
what do you
A
think
lot of
about this AJ and Braun Breaker being a
going to be a
breakout
great
match for
match.
Braun? You think? What do you think? Do you think AJ can put Braun
I
up?
think
You think he could
it's an
push him over?
interesting one, because we have AJ there. He's not,
Uh,
but he probably should be. And Braun Breaker's on the way up, and of course, I think it's Braun's cousin now. Is it Brock? Um, and he's signed a deal with the WWE as well, developmental. So we could have two Steiners once again, like their dads in the past. It's going to be a really interesting one going
Yes,
forward there for
definitely.
sure. The
Ooh,
one thing
Penta and Braun Breaker at WrestleMania. What do you think?
I
I can
think
see it. Penta has to have a match at WrestleMania. He
Penta's
has.
unbelievable. He's unbelievable. But
He
I don't. I think we'd all be winners seeing the likes of that anyway, for sure. You know.
hmm
Dakota Kai beat Ivy Nile for a shot at Lyra and the Intercontinental belt as well. Some much needed focus once again, I think, on that belt because things were kind of, dying off there a little bit. And yeah, it's great to have it back. Bit of focus on it once again, and the women's division, of course.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that Dakota won.
Yeah,
Especially with again the teasing between Ivy Niles and Lyra Valkyr. Just the back and forth and things of that nature. So I was pretty certain that um that she was going to win and we was going to get this first title match between them two. But they gave it to Dakota. So maybe this will be a more singles run for Dakota, because I felt like with there not really being a damage control at this point,
yeah,
Kyrie Sand is injured, Asuka is still out. Um, Io now has a title match against Rhea. So it really seemed like there is no damage control. So let Dakota, venture out on her own is how I feel about it.
yeah. Look, let's see what happens. I want to ask you about NXT Vengeance Day. Did you catch that at the weekend? I believe you did.
I
Um,
did.
and there was a few interesting, happenings in that. No more so than Stephanie Vacker. She won the North American Women's Championship, and I
hmm
believe she's the first. I found this hard to believe. She's the first South American born champion in WWE history.
They said that, but it is not necessarily true. There
Mm.
is another one. Oh my god. The name skips me, but
Yeah, I'd find that hard to
she
believe. Now, I,
wasn't
I
the
can't think of it
first.
off the top of my head
What?
either, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, the tweet that I had saw I think it was Wrestle Ops, so it wasn't necessarily WWE that had said it. Now, if they said it, I'm sure they will correct themselves, but definitely no, she's not the first.
Mm,
It was another wrestler um from a few years back that
yeah.
yeah. So
Stephanie is looking really good. They're giving her that push. Julia faced off against Cora Jade, Bailey, and Roxanne, and she came out on top on that one to retain also.
which I kind of figured she would. They wasn't about to take that title off for Julia and now we have both of the latest signings as
Yeah.
champions and I'm guessing soon Zaria will have a title too. Hey David, I'm doing good, and I guess
Good old
Derek is
David. I
getting
know
over a
David.
little bug, but he's still chippy. He's still good too. But we're
Oh,
doing
good.
good.
Thanks for joining us, David. Um, is it safe to say that the women's side of NXT is on fire right now and perhaps the best in the business?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, even on the main roster, the women aren't necessarily being booked the way the NXT women are. So yeah, we're thinking women's division across the board. You know, when you think of in the states,
Hmm.
absolutely. I do think they have a run for their money when it comes down to Stardom, but Stardom is an all women's promotion anyway. But
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of their matches, and not to say I would want everyone to leave where they are and come to WWE or AEW, but I do feel that if you're not into those promotions, you miss out on a lot because there's a lot of um talent out there. There's a lot of
Mhm.
talent. Yeah, it's not mid. It's good. You have to watch it. Okay, it's really good. And
Yeah,
besides, they picked Julia from there, so it can't be that bad. They got
there you
Julia
go.
from there, and Julia had to kind of slow down or soften up in her writing. I mean, her wrestling ability because
Her style, yeah, just
she really
kinda
hurt some of these women in NXT. So she as well as Stephanie. I've definitely seen a lot of Stephanie matches before she came to NXT, and they both had to kind of change their fighting styles a lot.
yeah, yeah. Look, we've seen it in the past. A lot of the wrestlers have to do that just to accommodate the others that they're facing off against. Need to say, of course, that the Hardy Boys are making a return to NXT. They're going to be on it next week, live from Cincinnati, which
That
is exciting.
that just made my teenage self so happy because it didn't look like the Hardy Boys were ever going to be wrestling in a WWE ring. It
I
seemed
always had a
like
feeling. I had a feeling they had
that
another
it
few
would
matches
happen.
left in them.
I
Yeah.
hope so. I I know when Jeff Hardy had said, if he didn't run across the issues that he have had, he will be as big or maybe even bigger than John Cena. And people try to jump down his throat about
Mm,
that. But it's like if you remember Jeff Hardy the way I remember Jeff
mm.
Hardy, I do not see how what he said was incorrect. He would have been. He would have been. I mean, he was when you thought of the Hardy Boys, you thought of Jeff first.
Yeah, I
You
agree.
know?
Hardy Boys for Hall of Fame, most definitely. Um, I just have fond memories of Jeff Hardy just having no respect for his body whatsoever, um, willing to throw himself from any height through multiple tables and ladders and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, great. Um, I want to ask you a question, Megan, and get your opinion. Would you think there's way too much wrestling on offer now? Like when we look at NXT, SmackDown, we have Raw, we have LFG now, which debuted over the weekend. We have Evolve. Like, is the appetite there, or do WWE have their hands in maybe too many pies at this stage with the addition of TNA partnership there also? Like, is the interest going to die in some way? Because I see SmackDown, their viewing ratings kind of dropped off a little bit last week. Now that could have something to do with the Netflix increase in price. I don't know, but
Yeah.
is there too much wrestling out there at the minute?
No. I don't think so. I mean, a lot of these companies was already out there anyway. It's just, you had to like really work around seeing it like Ashe Wrestling, um GCW, MLW, which luckily enough you go watch that free on YouTube. But GCW
Yeah,
you have to watch it on Triller. So it's like there's so many promotions that's out there. They're just not on regular TV the same way as WWE or AEW is. And even for that, you still have a hard time watching AEW if you're overseas. Like you said, it's not like you could just turn it on TBS or TNT the way I
yeah.
can. You have to kind of like,
It's kind of
maneuver
buried. It's
around it.
buried away in the listings somewhere. Like some of the channels, and you have to. It's just not as freely available as the WWE is. Now we have spoken in the past about, there was rumors maybe AEW could do a deal with Prime at some stage. That would be fantastic, and you'd have Prime and Netflix, which a lot of people do have, but it just isn't. And but look, that comes back to an awful lot of different things, like we spoke before at length about the social media side of it, things for AEW. It's just not as strong. Their website is not as slick. That's basically, the way I see it anyway.
Yeah.
Um, But yeah, there's a lot of improvement could be made. But I just feel myself like when you take all the indies into consideration on top of like the mainstream stuff like WWE and AEW, there is a hell of a lot of wrestling out there. Like, and there's no way likes of us can watch everything, even though we like to put ourselves out here and discuss it. But you find yourself catching bits and pieces and all the main types of stuff, and then watching the main pay-per-views and that. But like to sit and watch every hour of programming per week is just impossible. Wouldn't be.
Yeah. Yeah. See, there goes my co-host, Wrestle Republic,
Yeah,
Clark
Clark.
Taylor. Hey, Clark. Um, yeah. I mean, to answer your question, does WWE have their hands in everything? Yes. But, you know, the fans want to see a lot of things that in WWE that they see in other promotions. They want to see more international stars. They want to see certain people from the promotions there. They want to see more of the build up with the up and coming wrestlers. And so WWE is giving you that. They're giving you LFG to see it lead up to evolve, and then from evolve to NXT. Like, it's bringing
Yeah.
us back to Tough Enough. So a lot of the things that they're doing now is not new because they've done it before, but it's more up to date with what is hot now. So yeah, I think a lot of people have issues with the fact that um WWE is everywhere, but you know, if you see WWE doing it, just know that wrestling is hot right now. Because there was a time when people wasn't really watching wrestling. It wasn't circulating out there the
Oh
way it
yeah.
is now. And whatever WWE is doing is kind of pushing the other promotions to keep up. But at the
Mm,
same time, WWE is also taking a lot of their ideas from the smaller promotions as well. So, it's a give and take type of thing. But,
yeah.
wrestling is where it's at right now. And now it's blending with the pop culture, it's blending with other sports like football. Now WWE is giving championship belts to different football teams and stuff. And now you're seeing the wrestlers at these NBA All-Star games. So it's
Yeah.
really merging again. It's cool,
Definitely.
and maybe we'll start getting the commercials like Rock doing the Chef Boyardee commercials again. Maybe we'll start getting things like that again. Maybe,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think there's a lot to be said for the indie scene though. Like I only really discovered the Irish indie scene last year, having come back from WrestleMania. And the style of wrestling is a lot different. Of course, it's I suppose the way you'd look at it with WWE, they'll take the indie wrestlers, they'll mold them then into what they want. That the kind of style they want for their shows. Whereas there's a certain amount of like it's a little bit more raw in the indie scene, you know,
Mhm.
and there's a lot to be said for that too. It's quite exciting to go to the indie events and you get a lot from that. And then you get other stuff from going to the WWE and watching their events in the AEW and so on like that. So,
Yeah,
um, but yeah,
yeah.
it's
Well, look, I've told this story 1,001 times. As a kid, I was not allowed to watch ECW. Me and my brothers was not allowed to watch it because it was very um real.
a little
Whereas
bit,
WWE, you had a little occasional things, but ECW didn't really hold back, so couldn't really watch it. Now, you do have a lot of these promotions that is inspired
mm,
by ECW that now I get a chance to go in person as an adult. And you know there's there's a grittiness to it that WWE doesn't necessarily have, and sometimes you just
yeah,
want to see blood. And sometimes you just want to see two men just beat the crap out of each other. And even though you do get that there, it's way different than seeing somebody jump from a
exactly,
balcony or
yeah,
somebody sticking pins
Like
in
the
someone's
death match,
forehead.
deathmatch
Yeah.
wrestling. Yeah, that's it's not for everybody, to be honest, but it has its place, I guess, for fans of it, and that. But yeah, look, and we've seen now the introduction of the WWE ID belts announced by Triple H there yesterday. So that's a
Mhm.
great incentive, I suppose, for some of the up and coming prospects.
Yeah. Give them something worth fighting for,
Mm,
you
yeah.
know. So
Definitely one to keep an eye on anyway and see how that kind of works out. But yeah, no, I was just interested to get your take on that for sure, you know.
mm,
Um so I suppose looking around at the wrestling in general, we had of course the AEW Grand Slam last week as well, last weekend.
yeah.
And you being such a fan of AEW and resident expert in all things AEW. No doubt you caught that as it was ongoing.
Yes. Well, Miss Tony Storm
Mm.
regained her title, so we're happy about that. Mercedes Monet, she retained her title.
She beat Harley Cameron, so
Yeah.
she was an Aussie native, Harley. Um,
Yeah.
but does Mercedes? I saw you speak elsewhere about this. Does she still have a bit of beef with WWE? Like, is it are they kind of living rent free in her head to some degree? Um,
Yeah, I think it goes both ways. I think it
mm,
goes both ways. I feel like um WWE, they are aware of the things that Mercedes say about them, and so they show their petty side. And Mercedes, she knows that what she says about WWE still holds a level of power, relevancy. So she's going to take advantage of that and speak her mind on them as well. I know some people felt like I was a little hard on her uh, during my recent podcast episode. I just want better from Mercedes. I don't want her to feel as though she has to constantly um, throw shots at WWE only because um,
do you not feel though it's a certain type of maybe insecurity in some way that she has?
no,
No.
I don't think it falls under that. I just think that um she sees what they're doing. It's kind of
Mm.
like when you see somebody throwing subs at you,
Do you feel
or
that
they're
she'd love to be back there? Maybe.
no with the things that she says. She says she's happy where she's at. So I can
Mm.
only believe that if she's happy where she's at, um I can't say otherwise. I feel like if she wanted to be there, she would have. Was the money the motivation for her to choose AEW over WWE? Maybe. I don't know. Um, but uh, she says she's happy where she's at. I can only believe that. I can only take her word for it. Um, I think, like I said, I think it's just a level of her not necessarily feeling like she's respected. So it's kind
Mhm.
of double sided. Like she wants to still receive the respect of the things that she achieved in WWE, but at the same time, I think she wants fans to kind of acknowledge more what she's doing in AEW over WWE. And like I said, she can't dictate what people acknowledge her of because a lot of people do not know this Mercedes Monet.
Yeah,
They know Sasha Banks,
that's it.
like that was our introduction to you with Sasha. And
Mhm.
to acknowledge you as Mercedes, we had to acknowledge who you were before, and that was Sasha. And even by people calling her that, she says she doesn't necessarily have an issue with it, but she prefers that they don't call her that.
Yeah,
Um, which is her prerogative. She has the right to feel that way. But I just think that it's not wise for you as one single solitary woman to continue to try to go back and forth with this company, um because the optics is, it just doesn't look good. But it doesn't look good for WWE to continue to, you know, cut her out of different things. Like someone had brought that up when they mentioned the four horsewomen. They kind of like cut
Oh
her
yeah,
out, which I felt like that was nasty.
that's a little bit unfair. Yeah,
She is the four horsewomen.
yeah,
She is one of them, and she still needs to be acknowledged as so. But I do get it. Why keep bigging up someone who has nothing but nasty things to say about us? So it's like I get both ends.
hmm,
Um, and I just wanted to kind of just stop on both ends. You happy over there? Be happy over there, and trust the women's division is doing fine.
yeah.
They're
I just feel like,
doing good.
way things work in wrestling. I don't think we've seen the last of Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks in WWE.
Probably
Um,
not. Probably not. I mean, 3, 4 years ago, would we have thought CM Punk would have been back in WWE in the Royal Rumble, possibly main event at WrestleMania, getting a title again? Absolutely not. He has said some things in AEW that would make you think that he was never going to be in a WWE ring again. And
mhm.
yet here he is. Here he is, main eventing. So
Yeah,
it's
I think
like
some of that comes down
it's
to the new leadership though of the WWE somehow.
well, yeah. I mean, well, you got to remember, CM Punk was there months before he even returned
Mm,
at AEW, and he
yeah,
was
yeah,
kicked out by Vince. And then he came back
that's true.
for Survivor Series, and Vince was still there.
Yeah,
So, there was an understanding. So I know a lot of people think, yeah, it was Triple H, but Vince was still he was still in WWE when
he was pulling a
CM
few
Punk came back.
strings still, yeah.
Yeah. So, it's there's always a possibility, if she ever wants to come back. Um,
Never say never in wrestling, that's for sure.
but I will say, as much as we have seen Triple H as a wrestler to where he's at now, he's not going to take so much disrespect. So if you want the opportunity to come back, you might want to slow down on, the dirt slinging, because he might not be so forgiving. He might not be.
Yeah, that's true. I think the match of the night at the AEW Grand Slam was surely Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega against they beat Fletcher and Takeshita. I want to say is the name, but um, yeah, I think that was a pretty good match. Saw a few clips of it, but like Will Ospreay, he always puts on a hell of a match.
Yeah. We got Osprey and Kenny. Now I'm a little late to their feud.
Mm.
Definitely heard that they had a generational run with their feud. So for them to team up together, um, a lot of people was happy about that. There was a lot of actually there was a lot of all Aussie wrestlers who had pretty decent matches during that show. But
Yeah,
not everybody won. Uh
Mr. Rhea Ripley, Buddy Matthews, he was defeated
yeah, he
for
lost
the
his match. Jay
yeah.
White and Cope, they
That's
lost their match.
that's right against the Death
Um,
Raiders. Yeah,
of course, Harley Cameron, um,
I
Kyle
love
Fletcher
yeah
as well.
Kyle Fletcher. Yeah, I just love seeing Adam Copeland or Edge or Cope, whatever you want to call him, just still doing it at this level. And he still loves it. For a man that was, his career was supposed to be over some years back, the neck injury, and that was he 50 now, 51. Um, I think it's wonderful to see because everybody, we all have great memories of Edge.
Yeah.
When he came into WWE and all he achieved there, and it's wonder. It's like the Hardys. It's that whole feeling, seeing them still competing and everything like that. It's fantastic.
Yeah. And I can start hating Edge now, because I felt the way. I felt the way
Cheer
about
me up.
what he did, when it come down to Ricky. But, Ricky is now in NXT, so I can enjoy Edge again,
Yeah.
without having that feeling like, you're keeping somebody off of TV. So, um, but, somebody brought up a really good possible scenario,
Hmm.
and I thought that would make really good TV. So, um, yes, it's gone. It's gone. I am like Elsa. I've let it go. I have no more animosity.
Okay.
Um, so
Interesting.
we do have a AEW
Oh,
heavyweight
I don't know.
championship.
I don't
We
know
we
what we
do
do, but yeah, look,
we
AEW, like we said before, it's good for what it is. It could be
yeah,
better. Like a lot of different things they do could be better. We live in hope that it will improve over time. We'll just have to wait and see. Maybe they should have like a few more shows the way the WWE have like feeder type shows like the LFG, or whatever. Just to kind of
yeah.
tough enough
Well,
time.
look, like I said, Edge does have a heavyweight championship match coming up against John Moxley.
Hmm.
Possibility is that Christian still has the contract. It's kind of
Yeah.
like Money in the Bank briefcase. So there's a possibility that Christian can cash in on Edge and take the title away from him. And then we'll get that Edge versus Christian feud that we've been waiting for. And that's like you said, that old feeling between the Hardy Boys and Edge and Christian, because that's really the reason why he said he came back to AEW, why he came
Yeah.
to AEW in the first place, because he wanted to work with his friend again. So I'm thinking that can happen, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, and we've Orange Cassidy returning as well, don't we, to AEW quite soon, and so we like there's hope. And you're a big Orange Cassidy fan, anyway.
Yes, I'm really excited to see him tonight. It's been a
Yeah,
couple of weeks.
yeah,
They kind of just threw him in this match against Roddy Strong, Neck Strong,
mm,
um, which should be a good match. But this is what I'm talking about when it comes down to the booking. This
yeah,
man was away for a couple of weeks, and you brought him back, and you just threw him in this match. I think it's a match leading up to something, but at the same time, I still feel like um when he left, he was feuding with the Death Riders. He should be continuing that. Instead, you just putting him in some random
yeah.
match. So.
Kind of lacks the continuity in a way, for sure. But look,
Yeah.
you'll be tuned into it all tonight anyway, which is great. I just want to shout out for the Irish indie scene. It's on fire at the minute, as always. And RCW have a show coming up this weekend in Cork, Rebel Island, and Hard Knocks Pro Wrestling. They have another event coming up in a couple of weeks as well in March. OTT, they have an event on the 22nd of March in the Ambassador, homecoming. Some matches yet to be announced there, but no doubt some surprises in store. As I've said here many, many times, Irish wrestling is on fire. As we can see, they're flying the flag in WWE, all our stars, and with many more to follow, hopefully, in the coming months and years and everything like that. So, yeah, fantastic time.
Yeah. Um, Not too much really going on in the indies here, except for GCW announced that they are going to have a show later on this year in Alaska. Alaska. So I thought that should be fun. Um, but just briefly, nothing else is really going on. TNA was well, TNA is tomorrow night, but NXT was really good. We had Moose appearing on NXT last night. He is challenging um Oba Femi, but
Obafemi, yeah.
I think yeah. And also, of course, the Hardys is going to be there. Jordan Grace has another match, but of course, she is signed to WWE. Ricky Saints is having his first match in NXT in a tag team match with Javon Evans against
Brilliant stuff.
Ethan Page and Wesley.
Yeah.
So we're definitely. Oh, no, I'm lying. Moose has a match with Lexus King. That's what it is
Okay.
Moose and Lexus King. So Lexus King is going to be challenging Moose for his NXT X Division belt. So as if I'm correct, this is the first TNA title that will be defended on NXT.
Yeah. Okay.
So the blending is happening. So it's
Yeah.
not so much TNA belts being defended on TNA or NXT belts being defended on NXT. We are having our first TNA title defense on NXT. So I think it's happening, y'all. The merge between companies
It's
is
all kicking off.
happening.
Business is
Yes.
about to pick up. Definitely.
Yes, it is. Yes, it
A
is.
shout out as well. Michelle McCool she's the newest inductee into the Hall of Fame. She follows Triple H for the class of 2025. So it's going to be interesting. I think Demolition are going to be there as well, somewhere along the line. They signed a Legends deal recently. So hopefully they'll be long overdue to see Axe and Smash
Yeah.
be put into the Hall of Fame. But, maybe the likes of China as well. I'd love to see that, Johnny Laurer. But that's a debate we could have a full episode dedicated to maybe at a later stage. But I think for this week, that's it. It's over and out. And thanks to everybody that's joined us and that's interacted and left comments and everything like that. And
Yes.
yeah,
Um, yeah, just make sure that y'all tune into AEW. Let's watch AEW together, y'all, as a collective and bring their ratings up. I don't want people to think I hate watch AEW. I enjoy
you love it.
AEW. I do. I really, really, really do. Um, but yeah, and that's pretty much it. Really, there's not really anything happening outside of that, and of course TNA on Thursdays, and then
Love
SmackDown
the
on
rest.
Friday.
Yeah. So thanks, everybody. And we will catch you again next week.
Yeah, same time, same place, every Wednesdays at 2. We going for 2?
2:30, somewhere
Yes.
around there. Yeah.
Yep.
Take care. Bye
Y'all.
bye.